You know, I posted 9 videos since I've been back, and I probably haven't been wearing pants in like 6 of them. It's been a while since I just played this game with regular guns, dude. I've either been sniping or I've been only playing medic, getting no kills. I have to like relearn how the gunplay in this game works because I really haven't been using it. Clearly neither is that guy. Am I playing bots, dude? What's going on? All right, well, I finally died. These poor Battlefield players never heard of a spawn trap. It probably doesn't help that I'm using a gun with like 0 recoil to relearn how to play the game. But hey, who likes learning? Speaking of learning, I saw this video of this young teacher, probably like about my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger. I don't know what age you'd have to be a teacher, but he's a high school teacher, right? So he only teaches kids 14 years old to 18 years old. I just realized I've been talking in game chat this whole time. I just muted my mic. These kids have been hearing me say whatever for the past God knows how long. But yeah, this dude's teaching kids that are 14, 18 years old, high school kids, right? And he recorded a video because he wanted to show everyone the authentic reactions to this. I guess he was recording because he had done it a few times before and he realized how crazy it is. All he said is, I want you guys to write 1 paragraph. And before he finished saying whatever else he was gonna say, the whole class just erupted in just, oh no, like they were just told that they were gonna be sentenced to hard labor. One of the girls in the class was like asking if they needed to be like full complete sentences, and he said yes, 5 complete sentences, which is what a paragraph is. And he sort of has this reaction like, are you guys serious, bro? Like,
in a paragraph. Oh my gosh. Full, you know what a complete sentence is? Yeah. Explain 5 sentences. 5 sentences. Could you imagine that? Having to write 5 complete sentences?
At first I just thought like, I don't know, like they didn't want to do the schoolwork. They didn't want to write at all. And I get that. I was one of those kids who like, I didn't want to do anything, dude. I didn't do any homework by choice. I was never like a dumb kid. And my teachers knew that, I think. I was just really lazy. And I thought that's what this was. But no, I mean, genuinely, this guy's posted a few more videos, I believe. Or maybe it was a different guy. But a bunch of teachers who are teaching, you know, this generation of students, whether that's like, you know, just K through 12, they're saying like they legitimately just like can't read at the level that they're supposed to be able to read. They can't write, they can't pay attention. And I'm sure things were said about my generation and like every oncoming generation as far as you know, learning and teaching goes in school. But the video examples I've seen are like ridiculous, dude. Switching to your sidearm is always faster than reloading. I saw a video of a teacher basically saying like the kids are so distracted just with their phones. And that's definitely been a thing since I was in high school. I mean, I didn't really have a phone that worked in high school for most of it anyway, but like all the kids were distracted on their phones, right? But we weren't like stupid or anything. They're talking about it like these kids get like this crazy like dopamine hit off of, you know, scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and they can't go without that constant dopamine hit all day. Like they're literally going through withdrawals in class, and that's the issue. I mean, if some people are, you know, 2 times speeding through a 15-second video, I don't know how they can handle a lecture. But like, I know some schools have like completely just taken away all phones. Like you just put it in a box all day and you just can't use it unless you're like at lunch or something. My sister's in high school right now. I think she has to like keep it in her locker or something. I don't know. Me personally, I would have never let them do that. I've been in a pretty scary situation from when I went to high school where I really needed my phone to like possibly let my family know my last moments. At least that's what I thought was happening. It was pretty close to that. Like some guy made threats to my school and people thought it was actually gonna happen. We went on lockdown like 10 minutes before school ended. It sucked, dude. But yeah, I think that's like a really bad part of the whole like taking the phones away thing. I don't necessarily think that's the solution. I think, I don't know, dude, like you have to have some authority as a teacher to like tell kids to just put their phone away. I don't know. But then there's the whole chat GPT thing, and oh god, dude, I don't like, there's a bunch of kids now who have had chat GPT the entire time they've been essay writers. So as long as they've had to write essays, they've had, you know, AI there to do it for them. So they haven't like developed the proper skills to know how to really write. And with that comes like the lack of skills to be able to like read at a certain level. You know, you're not going to learn like how language functions if you just have like a pretty much a perfect English essay that you're turning in every time that you never even actually worked on. I don't know, dude. I'm not trying to be like a teacher or like a advocate for learning, but I do think it's pretty important. Like, I wouldn't be able to talk to you how I'm talking now, or like form as coherent thoughts as I have been forming without actually learning stuff. Like the video essays I've made that have gotten like positive reception, I had those thoughts, right? But I wouldn't have been able to convey them or argue whatever I was trying to convey or argue without learning the stuff that I've learned throughout my life, you know? That being said, like I said, I was a very lazy kid in, you know, not just high school, but all throughout school. And even in college, dude, like I was working a job at the same time as going to college, and I really did not want to like go above and beyond for anything. Like I was doing, you know, as bare minimum as I could do. And it was still tiring. I'm really an advocate for being a lazy student, but I'm not an advocate for being just dumb. I think everyone should follow their dreams, and I pretty much ignored a lot of the things that I was learning that didn't correlate to my dream at all. Like in my head, when I was in high school, I was like going through like chemistry or physics or whatever, and I liked like the cool days, you know, when like the teacher would, you know, mix something and it had some crazy reaction. Or like my physics teacher one time had this like giant metal ball, and we all like held hands and like one person touched it and it zapped all of us. That was cool. But like for the most part, I was not paying attention in those classes. I wasn't trying, just because it like didn't correlate to this. And I'm not even necessarily saying that's something that you should do. I'm just being honest about what I've done. I don't know, it feels like we're gonna hit a point soon here where like this dopamine thing is gonna be like a big problem. I mean, if not, we've already hit that point. We got high school kids reading at a 4th grade level, if that, and that's not necessarily just like a, you know, a phone TikTok dopamine thing. That's also an AI thing, and I think we're gonna run into these problems like a lot sooner than we thought we would. It's not like I'm sitting here trying to diss like the younger generation. I'm part of the same generation as those kids. I'm not some sort of dopamine saint either. I catch myself scrolling for way longer than I should be. If anything, I'm just kind of surprised at how quickly like all the things that the doomers were saying is actually kind of happening. You know, kids at or around my age were the ones that were in college when ChatGPT first dropped, and like even professors didn't know about it. I would never trust anything from any professional, whether that's a doctor or a lawyer, anything, that was my age, dude, because not just because they're my age, but they probably cheated throughout college. Dude, these old doctors, dude, they have like encyclopedic knowledge of the body. It's crazy. I mean, my aunt's a dermatologist, and she can name like every part of the human body and like every medication you need to take in every situation with like no thought time, dude. It's crazy. Whenever I have any sort of like medical suspicion, I bring it up to her, and she tells me exactly what's going on and what I need to take. I know someone my age that's a psychologist, and if I went to them with my problems, they would probably tell me to kill myself. If I went to the doctor and they try to diagnose me using Grok, bro, it's over.